Hello, welcome to Elevate, the global masterclass series I'm so excited to be a host of. My name is Julia Mikk. I'm also the founder of Solignment Institute, teaching people worldwide how to give Solignment processes and teach workshops on Solignment trauma healing work. And I'm also host of this incredible feast of masterclass series where I get to be hosting masterclasses with incredible healers, teachers, mindfulness experts. And today I'm so glad to be here with Ron Damico. How do you pronounce your last name again?
Damico.
Damico. Ron Damico. Ron Damico is a transformational catalyst, intuitive healer, spiritual guide, and architect for the new human consciousness. He's a master mentor, teacher, and way shower who has been guiding people from all walks of life and backgrounds through the healing process for nearly 2 decades. He's sincere and compassionate and uses his own unique form of energetic healing combined with his seasoned medical intuitive abilities. That helps his clients awaken their innate spirit so they can meet even the most complex life challenges with strength and courage. A born intuitive, Ron is renowned for his ability to bring profound healing to others simply through the power of his voice, intention, and presence. And I look forward to being here with you to be part of your voice, intention, and presence. I'm so glad you came. Thank you, Ron.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so grateful for this.
And I love how in your bio it said that transformation happens already through your voice, intention, and presence. So I want to invite everyone listening to really feel through your body what's happening in you as you're here with me and Ron, because what's happening is so beyond words. Would you say that's true?
It is. For me, every time I speak with anyone or I speak with a group of individuals, I tap into their essence. Yes, I love the physical. I love being physical, but the physical is an expression of who we are. The physical is not who we are. It's just an extension. It's part of the experiential journey that is so incredibly exciting to play with. We've just faded away over time to connect and remember the connection of who we are and how we wish to be. We have so stepped into a survival paradigm that we have forgotten what it is to thrive. And the essence of our spirit, our soul, only knows thriving. The human understands and gets survival, but that is where we get stuck. We focus on how we're going to make it to the next instance and just be alive. Where's the richness in that? Where's the quality in that? Where is it that then we have that opportunity to bring everybody to a higher state of being? All we're doing is trying to figure out how we just make it and weather the storm. And there's so much more to life than that. And when I tap into what we're doing and I tap into any group that I participate in, I feel the essence of who is there, what they all need, and what they require to remember who they are. We talk about that new human consciousness. I look at us as a multidimensional being. I don't know how to do it any other way. We operate survival's 3D. You start moving into something that leans more towards, we'll just call it thriving. Now you step away from a 3D model. You're more than just matter at that point. We have glimpses of non-matter in 3D, but you start looking beyond that and you just entertain for an instance that there is more to you than just trying to figure out how to get through the next instance. If you can feel that you are a living, breathing moment, when you can begin to feel what that is for you, you realize you have more choice to bring yourself into an instance and create yourself in that instance than you can even imagine. And once that starts happening, your life takes on a different feel. When I communicate this, I share the vibrational essence of this with people. So when they hear this, they don't even have to listen to it. Once they choose to align with it, they begin to feel it, because the whole of you is who I'm speaking to and who I'm tapping into. And that is what makes the difference in life. And the beautiful part is we all have the ability to be this, and I've said this before. It's like, I am just unique in that I do it the way I do it. I am the way I am. But this is who we are. We are that multidimensional being that is meant to thrive. And just our intent creates the momentum for each and every one of us to remember who we are.
The intent to thrive creates
The intent. Exactly. Yes. Once you set your intent, you create, as long as you keep aligning as it, not with it. See, when we say with, we're perceiving it's outside of us. But as you settle in and you realize it is you, so you are aligning as this truth embodied to whatever degree that you are able to in that instance.
So aligning with the vibration of thriving, with the feeling.
Exactly. Right. And even if you don't have an active reference to it, I prefer that you don't, because our reference is based in survival. So we have a survival perception of thriving. But this is, I may not know how this feels to me, but I am willing to become aware of, honoring of, and attentive to the truth of what thrive is for me and how I can live that in all that I am and all that I do.
That sounds very similar to the homework I sometimes give to my clients, which is follow the feeling of your joy and your satisfaction moment to moment. Like you gotta feel it to know it, and it will guide you to where's more satisfaction in the next moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A friend of mine said when I first started my process, love begets love begets love begets love infinitely. I never forgot that feeling. And once I started to feel that, that guided me in everything that I did. I could feel where there's an interruption in my flow in connection with that. And I would focus on releasing the binding instance that was created in that moment. I welcomed in what that experience was that was stuck in time. See, this is what we end up missing. We think we have to relive. I have no interest in you reliving anything. If you have to experience it, then you experience it, but don't put an identifier on it. Just feel the willingness to become unstuck. Whenever you have gotten congested, from the moment you had your first incarnation to your current instance now, and even into the future, feel the willingness to break free of the progressive timeline of congestion and avoidance, and feel the will to embrace what is. Now, people will say, well, it's what was. You're talking linear progressive. I'll agree with you time-wise, but this is an instance in time. It is timing that is still happening right now. Your life right now is reflective of that congestion, that incomplete instance that you didn't embrace, whether it was good or painful. If you did not embrace yourself there, and from that embrace of self, embrace everyone involved in that, and feel compassion and gratitude for the experience, no matter what it is. We create a coalesced congestion. A timeline gets locked. And then we create compensations. Compensations are only meant to be temporary, but we let them last for however long. And when we realize that we built our lives now on one compensation after another, every new infusion of an issue, when we realize that.
An example, can you, because it's very wise what you're saying, and just to illustrate it with an example, what would it be like? Let's say congestion. Is it a trauma? Is it like somebody was abandoned when they were 2 years old, let's say,
Sure.
and then
Absolutely.
they create
I'll give you,
compensation?
I'll give you personal. Okay. I was intuitive from the get-go. Out of the gate, I was aware of everything. I just knew innately what truth was. Systematically, I would feel and hear contradictions from adults, from pastors, from teachers, from whomever. And I wasn't a sarcastic kid. I'm going, this doesn't make sense to me. Or I would say, well, you said that it was okay over here, but it's not okay over here. And I would get my rear end handed to me, so to speak. I would get shut down, sometimes in the most intense ways, sometimes more subtle. But every time that occurred, I locked myself up. I withdrew my essence from the space because it wasn't safe anymore. I wasn't honored for who I was and what I saw. I wasn't taught or brought to remember the nature of who I am. I was told what I can't be. And now we can call that trauma. It's fine. It doesn't make a difference to me. But what happened was I compensated. The environment was bigger than I was. So I learned how to shrink and shift myself to become less visible. That created a compensation. I continued to live my life. I do it again. I got shut down again, not healing this piece here. So another one builds on top of it. And I kept walking myself through one compensation after another until I got to about 22. And somebody I'd known for about 7 years looked at me one day and he goes, "What's wrong?" And I literally, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "This is the first time I've known you and you're not happy." He goes, "Something is wrong." And then it clicked. I got this snap of, I have no idea, but he's right. And then my life began to proceed to a point of remembering. I would find a friend of mine gave me a book, Dan Millman, Way of the Peaceful Warriors. And I read that and that opened me up to go, I knew it. I knew what I knew was accurate, even though it was a story, but it was still authentic. It was just he took license and wrote accordingly, but I could feel the essence of what that was. That process brought me to seek counseling, to see what was there, because I was not happy. And the doctor said to me, he goes, "Okay," he goes, "You got PTSD." I had no idea what that was. That's 30 some odd years ago at this point. Okay. And I said, "Okay, what's that?" And he goes, "PTSD is repetitive trauma." And he said, "It's typical of people that are in war." I said, "I wasn't in Vietnam." And he goes, "You don't think your life was a war zone?" I literally, my eyes popped out of my head and I just was in shock until I got home and I just cried because I realized the feeling came through and it started opening up the pathways for that. And that's what compensation creates. And even during that time, I was physically, I was in phenomenal shape because I was a personal fitness trainer. And I would get injury after injury, and I was a perfectionist in what I did. I couldn't make sense of why I was getting injured. I'd go to all kinds of doctors. Nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And then I saw an individual. I was working at a chiropractic office, and it said healer. That's cool. What's that? So I asked him, I said, "What's a healer?" And he goes, "I work with the energetics." I said, "I want to do a session with you." I had no idea why. I didn't know anything about chakras or any of that stuff at that point. And once he sat down with me, he says, "What are you willing to?" And I said, "Everything and anything." I didn't even let him finish the sentence because something in me knew I was moving in the right direction, because there was something about everything I was doing that was helping me realize I was not what I am supposed to be. I was nothing but a living, breathing compensation, trying to survive in a world that didn't know what to do with me.
A living and breathing compensation. in the
Yep.
world that didn't know what to do with you. I think that's
Yeah.
so powerful what you're saying, because our audience who's listening are coaches, healers, therapists, mission-driven
Right.
leaders that want to bring out the world, want their world,
Right.
their work, their gift,
Yep.
their light, and what keeps them not doing it, or what
This
makes
is,
them plateau at a certain level and not bring out
that's
more
it.
gifts.
Exactly. It's that glass ceiling or a plexiglass box that they're in. That's exactly what this is. And it creates unconscious, subconscious patterning we don't even know about. And we have a heck of a time trying to get to it because it's stuck somewhen in time. The energy is congested, and your existence, because we function through survival mostly, and it is only a function of survival, we can't get past it because the energy that we should have available to us to bring into what we are creating and what we wish to share is locked up somewhere else. And being locked up interferes with our ability to bring everything we are into who we are, and what we want to be. And we don't even have a clear impression of what that is because so much of our essence is over here.
This makes so much sense to me. It really resonates for me, the words frozen in time. I often speak of it in my work too, frozen in time, because you're doing something that worked really well then. Like you had to pull out your energy, you had to minimize your light. It was useful and necessary in that situation then.
Right.
But it's still frozen in time. That's like a long time ago. What's possible
Exactly.
now?
Right. Now, when I started moving into what I'm doing, I ended up going to some shamanic practitioners and I did a session and they said, "You're an innate healer." I'm like, "That's great. What's that?" And they explained it to me and they said, "Do you want this opened up?" I'm like, "Well, yeah," because of my personal fitness training, I started looking at people in chiropractic offices. And I was doing post-rehab work for them or conditioning programs. And I'd look at them and I just start asking questions and they would start answering the questions. Their body would just start straightening out. Or I was drawn to tap into something, like touch their body, certain areas. And I'm like, why am I wanting to do this? I'm like, I just want this. And it didn't make any sense to me because I knew nothing of this arena. So when they opened that up, it became apparent. And then I could feel what was coming through me. But now the fun part was, and this is what any practitioner I feel can benefit from, is I just knew when I started working with people, because I progressively let that business go. And then I was somebody I knew that was an herbalist says, "You need to do this kind of work." And I'm like, "I don't." He goes, "You need to do it." So he just started feeding me his clients. And I would see a theme of the day. There would be people that would come to see me and everybody was struggling with the same problem and they didn't even know each other. And I would also see what was unresolved in me as I was seeing them. And when I would see that, I just make note at the end of the day, I would just fall apart. I would just literally innately just start processing through what was coming up because there were things that were triggering. There were things that I'm looking, I'm going, "Oh my God, I was a contributor to that kind of thing in my life." I couldn't not see it. And as practitioners, if we can look at ourselves objectively without judging or condemning ourselves, what we can do is we can free our essence up to flow more readily through our human conscious form. And when that occurs, we have more access to that vital life force that is our spirit. And then we become a conduit for the divine essence, and we can be as we are meant to be in the presence of what they require to remember their wholeness. And that's the thing. If we are willing to be aware of and attentive to and respectful of ourselves, our journey, and say, "I need to go focus on this," then we open up and we access more because now we're more well aligned. But also Spirit says, "You got this. You're going to bring the best of you forward. Let's help you open this up even more."
So how does one look into themselves? Let's say they're similar to you and they holding themselves back, playing small, not letting the light shine, and they're aware of it. They're like, okay, I'm overcompensating. I'm scared to bring my power out. So now what? They're aware of it, but they're still in it.
Okay. What I've grown to do over time, something really simple, is just feel the essence of a sacred space that your spirit creates for you as a human being. Your spirit creates a sacred space for you to step into. Vision whatever you want in front of you. I love it to be an altar of truth and purification. And it takes on whatever shape and form that it requires for me, so it's representative of what I'm playing with. And when I step there, I say, show me the truth of what this is for me, that I may be attentive to and honoring of what has been, that I may be free to know who I am now. And then I just bless it and I walk away and go live my life. Now, a reason I do that is we have a tendency to sit there and we want to know an answer. I don't want to know. I don't want to know an answer. I don't want knowledge, information. I want to experience it. So what happens is when I step away, I've opened the door and it is a sincere will to feel what this is. And then it could be hours, it can be days, it can be weeks. And then out of everywhere, it just comes, boom. And it comes through me. And sometimes I just drop and I start crying. Or I start laughing. Or I feel something release in my biology. I'm like, what is this? Help me feel the truth of this. And all I get is, remember when you said, I'm going, and that's what this is. I'm like, oh, well, this isn't so much fun as the pain is going through and clearing from the body, because I have millennia of compensation in my biology, in my energy fields. That's affected my genetic material, that has affected my spirit essence, not my spirit essence, but all the fields that my spirit creates. So it creates expressions within you that say, you're not all that you can be. And we're going to hold this until you release this so you can be all you can be. Mm-hmm. And then when I process through that, it's amazing. Everything starts to correct. Clarity comes. I have greater access. And that one simple thing is something I've been doing for years. And when you do it without an attachment to the information, to the knowledge, you get to experience it. Once you experience it, then if awareness comes that helps you logistically and how to engage people in a different way, because now you're a different person, that's when I don't call it knowledge, I call it experiential wisdom. Mm-hmm. Because once you have experienced fully what was stuck in time, you now are more complete and present. And when you are, then you know yourself and you have an experiential knowing, not knowledge, but wisdom. I have the innocence and my will to stand in the midst of anything and say, show me who you are. This is who I am. What do we wish to do and be together? And as you feel that through innocence, your wisdom says, okay, that wasn't really what I was looking at, but what about this? And you just keep having a conversation. And it's an exchange to get to know each other. And whether your common intent on how you want to come together is worth putting the effort into, because you're open to get to know yourselves more intimately. It's like the moment you and I connected, it was like, boom, it just was amazingly open and receptive, and just all I could feel was gratitude for meeting you. Because there is an innocence and wisdom and a curiosity to get to know self and other. And that's what this is. Every relationship we have is that opportunity. Life is a relational experience. We relate with all life, not just people, not just animals, not just plants. Everything that is, we are in an intimate relationship with and as. So when we take those moments, when we feel that congestion, I want my business to grow. Okay, so why? That's my first question. Why do you want it to grow? For me, this has been strictly word of mouth since I've been doing this for 20 years, entirely word of mouth.
Wow.
I advertised and never worked.
Wow.
So I just stopped and I just kept it moving from that standpoint, but I kept feeling these feeling points. And I realized the feelings were my own limitations. And it was just this past September, I took a hiatus, and when I came home, I looked at my wife and I said, I just realized it wasn't all in my life. She goes, what? And I said, I wasn't all in. I wasn't committed to being this in everything I am and do. I said, now I'm all in. That shifted everything for me. Our relationship got better. I started feeling more vital and alive because I didn't recognize that it was only partly in my life. I still had a fear of the essence of if I became that, it was going to be taken away.
Became what?
Who I can be without any knowing of what that is. It's all I wanted to know is how I am seen by God and live that.
How you're seen by God and live that. That is being in.
That's all into me. I want to know who I am at my source. In the eyes of God, the divine source, whatever we call it. I want to know how I am seen. And I want to remember how that feels. And then I want to live that with every breath that I receive and every breath of truth I share. That is what this is.
Mm.
And as we open up to that, I'm sorry.
It's so beautiful. I love listening to, like, wow, so powerful. Yes, to be seen by God, to know how I'm seen by God and live that in every moment. And that is being all in, and now being all in every area of our life.
Absolutely. Yep. And after that, it's like we've been doing a lot of different things. And now it's just like one thing after another. It's just happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even, this showed up with you. I'm like, this is so cool. I'm so grateful. It's just, oh, yeah, let's go play. Another one. Hey, yeah, let's go play. Because to me, this is the joy that is life. Yeah, we have our difficulties, but we must learn and remember how to feel the joy that is the creation of this universe, this planet, and this social structure we have, and bring the truth of who we are into it, so the world and everyone in it can remember who they are and cease the conflicts. The conflicts are our own inner conflict. And once we realize that, we stop contributing to the craziness. And then it burns itself out, because the conflict only exists because we feel it. If we cease feeling it, if we cease feeling any kind of a fire, it burns out.
This reminds me of Ho'oponopono, like the real essence of the tradition is to do work on the inside of me. I see war outside of me, but I immediately go into forgiveness, healing inside of me. Because when I heal myself and I come into my wholeness, I stop contributing to the imbalance outside.
Right. You see that. The first thing that comes to me is, I am so sorry for everything and anything I have ever done in this lifetime or any other that has contributed to why you feel as you do, and this is happening as it is. Please forgive me for my missteps, for my forgetting who I am. I thank you for this opportunity to remember who I am with you through your struggle. And I love you with all that I am. And the more I am, the more I will love you. And we don't do that enough. We don't do that enough. But if we were to do that, it creates the fluidness within to be able to realize who we are. It's like, what do you want to be in this world? Just be love. Be any expression of love you wish it to be. Doesn't matter to me. You want to be compassion? Be compassion. You want to be forgiveness? Be forgiveness. You want to be joy? Be joy. Be it. Live and breathe as it. Let every cell that you are, every vibration that comes from you, be that. It's funny. I had a friend of mine a number of years back. I was doing a lot of sound healing. And he was talking to me about sound and notes and all that stuff. I said, the notes don't make any difference. And he goes, everybody says they make a difference. I said, the carrier wave. I said, the carrier waves of my intent. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, okay, I love you. And every time he felt love, he saw purple. And he goes, all I see is purple around me. And I said, cheese pizza. And he laughed and all he saw was purple around him. I said, it's the intent. Cheese pizza was I love you. I said, that's all that is. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters your intent and where you're generating every action that you bring into this world from.
And in that regard, you can be an accountant, you can be car mechanic, you can be, janitor.
Exactly.
What's your intent? Where's your heart? What flows through you as you're doing your work?
Exactly, because I used to work at Home Depot before I started doing this. And that was one of the things I kept getting is like, you got here and everything changed. I was just being how I am. I was true to what I knew here. And I operated from that standpoint. And it was amazing how the environment changed. And I didn't realize until people were pointing it out. And they put two and two together. I never even thought about it. But that's all that matters. If you know who you are of service to humanity and all life.
When you know who you are, you're in service to humanity and all life.
Yeah.
And in the moments when you don't know who you are, you taught us how to first acknowledge that you're frozen in time. Then second step seemed to be give it to spirit, like let spirit hold you. And then the third step, as I heard it, was that feel it all the way through, like feel the pain or the memory, and then it will transform.
Yep, absolutely. Now, I want to add this because people get stuck on pain. They want to resist it. What if you're resisting unconditional love? What if you couldn't handle taking that in and that's your pain? So what would it feel like just to let it in and see how quickly that pain transmutes into being just in a state of ecstasy that is beyond description? Yes, at the beginnings of opening your cells up and your whole consciousness up to feel the expansiveness in that and the voluminous infinite potentiality of it. Yeah, that could hurt a little bit. It's like taking a muscle that you haven't used, it's been in a cast and trying to straighten the arm out. That's going to be a little uncomfortable. You've been in a cast like this. So it's going to hurt, but that hurts so good kind of a thing. And it just is like, it's just a feeling. It's just an experiential feeling. And if you're in your gratitude and you are in and as your love, and you are willing to know that you are not alone going through this, and that you are well held in ways you can't even imagine at this point, you can walk through anything so long as you're willing to let go of what you have identified yourself and life to be. To let you and life show you what it all is.
So you could rest in God, in love, in the truth of your being, and be that every day.
Absolutely. And that's the ultimate purpose. That's the ultimate. Be all that you are, even if you don't know what that is. Know there is more to you than you can even fathom right now. So go and reach beyond what you can fathom and see how much further you can go, and just keep stretching it and expanding it. You've got that limit, keep going. Oh, there's a permeable wall there. Let's push through this thing. Why not? What do you have to lose other than you're all in or all out?
Yeah. So powerful and beautiful and inspiring. I hope everyone listening to really can feel it in their body right now.
Yeah.
And how can they learn more about you? How could they dive into this wisdom and experience it more? Do you have a program? Do you have anything you want to offer us?
Well, what I'd like to offer, you can always go to my website, and it's rondamico.com, and it's DAMICO.com. And what I'm offering is 50% off of one of my most favorite programs. And it's I call it my 21-day catalyst. And it's 21 days of 30 minutes where I immerse you in the mechanism of helping you release the patterns that you carry that interfere with your growth, awakening your system to its natural state of alignment. And then the final week, it's an elevation process. It's to bring you and expose you to higher levels of frequencies that you're used to, and to help you tap into your natural state of being. When I started the program, it was just, I did it every week. And then about a year ago, I just realized that the world needs specificity of focus. We need intent. So every month has its own theme, and I get clear on what it is as we get closer to the end of the cycle. And it's not just for the people that come. I look at it from a global perspective. I look at the essence of what humanity is, and these people are all representative of it. Like this coming month is going to be compassion and forgiveness, and it's becoming it. It's not understanding what it is. It's being compassion and forgiveness. Last month was you are love, and feeling how to be love, and realizing, and this is one of the things I say to people, if you ever feel lost and alone, and this is part of this program, if you ever feel lost and alone, realize that yes, your biology breathes, but the essence of your spirit receives the breath of divinity every time. That breath is always coming your way. And all you need to do is inhale it, because it is always there. If you feel you are lacking something, ask it of the divine, and it will be there. Breathe in what you require, pull it into your heart center. Pause when you hit the peak. Feel gratitude. Then when you're ready, breathe it to your body, through your body, out into this world for all life to experience. And then if you're bold enough, breathe it into the universe, and then meet the essence of the divine and give it a kiss on the cheek or a hug and say thank you. And then receive that gift again in whatever form you feel you require. And that program is just 21 days, a half hour, and it is a wonderful program. I love doing it.
It's a 21-day program that's available now for 50% discount as a gift. Thank you for the generous.
Yes, it is.
Please
Absolutely.
go receive it. It's so
Yep.
wonderful for you to offer it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I can tell there's so much more you could show us and transmit to us. So I hope people stay with you to keep learning and receiving from you. There's so much more.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Much love and blessing to all of you. Truly. I am grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Much love and blessing to everyone here. Thank you.